Hello, my name is Ramiro Barrios. I'm the general manager of Clos de los Siete, Michelle Holland One Project in Argentina. Today I would like to tell you the story of Clos de los Siete and also the story of Michelle Holland. I'm broadcasting this video from my home. You know, we are in a confinement down in Argentina, like in many places. But I think it's a great opportunity to share you this fantastic story. That started with a phone call. It was in 1988. A young Michel Holland received this phone call from an Argentinian wine producer inviting him to come down to Argentina and provide consulting services. We need to know that back then Michel Holland was a really famous, very famous guy because of his work in Bordeaux and his work in Napa. We need to know as well that Argentina had been producing wine for many years, but the industry was mainly focused into volume rather than into quality. Well, Michel Holland received this phone call and he accepted. He said, yes, I've never been to Argentina. I would be delighted to come. He loved what he saw. He flew down to Argentina in 1988 and he discovered all these vineyards planted at the foothills of the Andes, and it was just great. He loved it. He understood that there was some work to be done in the philosophy of winemaking, because winemakers were spending too much time at the winery and not that much in the vineyards. And you know, in order to make a great wine, you need to spend time in the vineyards. So he discovered the Malbec, the Argentinian Malbec, this grape that's famous in France, but that is extensively planted in Argentina. The Argentinians, they were not paying too much attention to this grape because it had big yields and the quality was not fantastic. But by lowering the yield, Michel showed them that a great Malbec could be done. After a few years consulting, Michel decided to invest and has his own vineyard. He looked for a place in Uco Valley, in Mendoza region, and he found this fantastic place very high in the mountains where nobody had planted before, and he talked to the owner and asked why nobody's planted here. Nobody had planted because everybody was afraid of frost. It was too high, too close to the mountain, but Michel, he knew better. The land had a very nice slope down to the valley, so he knew that the cold winds will go down. He was sure he could make great wines there. When he tried to buy 150 hectares, the owner told him, I'm sorry, Mr. Roland, the total land is 850 hectares, and I'm selling the whole thing. Michel, he couldn't buy the whole thing, it was too big for him. So he flew back to Bordeaux and he started talking to his friends from Bordeaux, families, owners of famous chateaus, famous wineries in Bordeaux, and he convinced 6 families to join him. So the 7 families, they went back to Argentina, and in 1998, they bought the 850 hectares. And that was the start of Clos de los Siete. You can imagine 7 famous families buying 850 hectares in Mendoza. That was a big thing. They planted the first vineyards in 1999, and the first harvest was in 2002. They decided to make individual wineries, each family, and they decided to make one wine in common. That wine in common is called Clos de los Siete. Clos means vineyard of the 7, de los Siete. Since then, they have been producing this wine that's blended by Michel Holland every year, and that's made with the contribution of the families that participate in the venture. So it's a very nice place. I really suggest you when this is all over, that just spend some time with us. Come to Argentina, come to visit us. It's a beautiful place, and we're going to be delighted to receive you and toast with a glass of Clos de los Siete. Cheers.